Hey everybody. I am so glad you're here with me today. My name is Dr. Brenda Whitehead. I am a prof turned academic coach, and I am so excited to share the automatic grade calculator tool that I created just for you. Yes, it's free. You can get it in the link in the description. And I wanted to create this tool because in my chats with students, the most common question or frustration is, how can I always know my course grade? Even if the prof is behind on entering grades, even if the course gradebook online is wonky for some reason, how can I know exactly where I stand? In the grade calculator tool I am sharing with you today, everything is set up for you, formulas and all, so that all you have to do is enter your assignment information as you move through the term, and your course grade will automatically populate for you. You can even use the calculators to run what-if scenarios so that you know exactly what you need to do on that final exam to crack that A. So let's jump into the calculators. So real quick, I want to give you an orientation of the template itself. On this first page, we have the instructions. On the next page, we have a basic points grade calculator. We then have a weighted grades course calculator. And then we have an example that uses dropped grades. So like there are 10 quizzes and 2 are dropped, that sort of example. So I'll be walking through each of those in a moment. For now, I want to talk real quick through some of these instructions just to make sure they're clear. Now, first things first, getting this into a format where you can actually edit it. If you are on a desktop, when you click the link you get in your email, it will take you to a screen that has a blue Use Template button in the upper right corner, and you will click that, and that will basically make a editable copy of this template for you to do what you want with so that your edits won't change the original. If you click the link on mobile, you will need to make sure you have the Google Sheets app installed, and when you open it, you will just need to go up to the upper right hand corner, tap those little 3 dots, go down to Share and Export, and then make a copy. And this will basically just do the same thing as that Use Template button on the desktop, makes a copy that is editable for you. So of course, if you're here, you're already watching this walkthrough video, so you can check this one off. Of course, I am currently recording it, so we don't have a URL yet, but when you see this template, that URL will be here. So if you ever need to go back and watch the video again or refresh your memory on something, you'll have that link right there. You can pop back into it. Third is I really recommend not just editing the templates themselves directly. I think that it's most helpful if you want to use these templates over and over again, semester after semester, course after course, that you copy or duplicate the template page. You do that by coming down here and right-clicking, and then you can duplicate that, and that will make a copy that then you can edit. Next, you will grab your syllabus to add the information to the templates. Then of course, the idea is that you'll have one of these tabs for each of your courses that you will then be able to update very easily as you move through the semester. And then of course, if you encounter any questions or if you notice something that might be really helpful to add to this template, definitely let me know in the comments or through email, and I can certainly see if I can kind of add that example. So let's jump into the first template, and this is the most straightforward and basic one. And this is for those courses that are points based, meaning there's no weighting percentages involved. So what you would first do to use this template is to put in the specific grading components from your syllabus. The syllabus will also tell you how many points each of those grading components is worth, and that is what you put in this column here. So in this example, say we're about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through the term. So we've had 2 exams. So we've put those 2 exams in. Those are the points we could have gotten if we would have gotten 100% on those 2 exams. We've turned in 1 of the journal article reports, and we've completed the group project. So again, if we had gotten 100% on everything, we would have 300 possible points at this point in the semester. Points earned is where we put in what we actually got. So maybe we got 86 on the first exam. We did a little better on the second one. We got 91, 45 out of 50 on the journal article report, and 46 out of 50 for the group project. And this is the sum of those. And then this formula up here is what gives us our total current grade. So this is points earned, total, divided by current points possible, total, times 100, you can see up here, to get our current percent. So we know we have 89.33, and we might say, oh my goodness, I am so close to getting that A minus. What can I do to get that up? So here is where you get into what if. So you can use this grade calculator to put in possible scores to see what that would do to your grade. So to make it clean, I don't have the formulas in here, but the formulas will be in here when you get the template, and it will look like this. It will look kind of like an error message. Don't worry, it's not an error. It just means you haven't entered those values in yet. So let's say we're trying to do these what if calculations. We want to see how we might get that grade up to over 90%. So we say, all right, I think I'm going to keep improving. So on exam 3, I think I'm going to get about a 94. Oh, look, that already bumped up. And for my second journal article, I think I'll do even better since I got some good feedback and I know what to do better. So I think I'm going to put 48 in there. And I think I've been really strong on my attendance and participation. And so I'm going to put 45. And with that scenario, we now have a 91, a solid A minus. And so that can be exciting, give us something to shoot for and plan for as we move into that second part of the semester. The one thing to keep in mind when you do those sorts of what ifs is to make sure that you're clearing these back out after you do those what ifs so you don't get confused when you go back in later and aren't sure what your actual grade is. So that is the points-based grade course calculator. Now let's move into the weighted course grade calculator. So to start using this one, you would do the exact same thing that we did before with the points. You look at that syllabus, you find each grade component, put them into this column. From the same syllabus, you will find the percent weights. So when you see your syllabus and you see percents next to assignment components rather than points, that's when you know this is a weighted grade system and you would need to use this template rather than the first template. So I just gave some example percentages, weight percentages that you might see in a course, and they all add up to 100%, right? That's just how they work. So this is what we enter in at the very beginning. Now in a weighted course system, you often don't know about this points possible column until you actually get the papers back, because often the point scale is somewhat arbitrary. So it might be out of 10, it might be out of 50, it might be out of 100. And the points themselves don't really matter. It's the weight that matters. So in this case, I've decided that this professor grades the text analysis papers out of 50, the midterm essay out of 100, and the final presentation out of 100. And then again, we're assuming we're maybe 2/3 of the way through the semester. So far, we have earned 42 out of 50 on the first text analysis paper, 45 out of 50 on the second text analysis paper, and on the midterm essay, we got an 84. And so far, we have earned a total of 171 points. And again, this is what we enter throughout the semester. This is a formula. You won't enter this. This calculates for you. Now, this column is somewhat unique to this template. And this is basically, you'll see that this is a repeat of this column. 10, 10, 15, 15, 25, 25. So you are populating this column once you have gotten grades on those grade components. So far, the total number of weighted points we could possibly have if we got 100% on everything is 50. So now we need to know how many weighted points we have actually earned. If 50 are possible, what does 171 raw points equal in weighted points? And that brings us to this column here. Now, again, these are formulas, so you do not enter things here. This will calculate for you once you enter things here. So this weighted points earned is the points earned divided by points possible times weighted points possible. And again, you don't have to do this. This is already in there for you. So again, if we want to do that what if scenario, say we haven't yet, but we're like, what if I got 48 on this third text analysis paper? Again, we add in the weighting. And what if I was able to get a 90 on the final presentation? I'm pretty confident that I can do that. And so we can run through this scenario, and that gets us to an 89.1. And maybe you're like, oh man, I so want to get that A minus. Is it even possible, right? You can run the what if. what if I scored 95? Would that get me there? Hey, it would, right? So it gives you a way to see what you might need to get to shift your score how you want it to go. And again, if you do run those what ifs, make sure you take those back out before you leave so that you know what your actual grade is. All right, so let's move into this third example template. And this is for courses that incorporate dropped components, meaning you might have 10 quizzes and the 2 lowest are dropped. Or in this example, we have 8 possible lab reports. You have to submit 5 of them. So again, here we start off by adding in from the syllabus, the graded components and the possible points, or if it's a weighted course, the weightings. So let's walk through this dropped piece. Right here, this is how we're calculating this. And you enter these scores as you move through the semester, so you have a running idea of where your current grade sits in these pieces. So you have 10 quizzes, in this example of 10 quiz opportunities with 2 lowest dropped. So you are entering in your quiz grades through the semester, and oops, maybe you got sick this week, you skipped this one, but you knew 2 were dropped, so you knew that wasn't a big deal. You're taking all of these. So at the end of the semester, after we'd completed all of the quiz opportunities, it would look like this. The dropped average is what we're actually interested in for calculating our grade, and that is 87.25. And what this is doing is taking this total, 698, which is calculated for you, and dividing it by the total number that count. And this is a piece of the formula that you will need to edit as you move through the semester, because as you add more quizzes, you will change this number. So let's say we have not yet done quizzes 9 or 10. And so I need to come down here and edit this to be out of 6 instead of out of 8. So we're still dropping the lowest 2. That brings our total to 525. And this is taking B33, this value here, divided by 6. So once we have populated those dropped score components, we see that right now, currently, we sit at an 87.68. We haven't yet taken exam 2 or submitted our research paper. So if we wanted to say, okay, what if I was able to improve my grade and I got it up to an 89 on exam 2? You can see that this is populating, right? Again, this is not something you'll change value-wise. You leave the formula there. And let's say on the research paper, I'm strong in writing, so I think I could get a 92 on that. So we can see what that would do to our grade. Now, say our professor says, you know what? There is this really important speaker coming, and if you go and you write a report, extra credit, EC report, then you can earn an extra 10 points toward your grade. So if we wanted to add this in so that we knew how that would help our grade, this is out of 0, it's extra credit. That means this is bonus, right? And then we'd add 10. So if I did that, that would bump me up to an 88. That's pretty worth it if you're thinking of, do I want to spend my time doing this? That's where this sort of calculator can be helpful. So there you have it. Go click that link in the description so that you can get this sent to your inbox and start calculating your grades whenever you need to on your own. Thanks so much for watching. Happy studying, everybody.